what's your thought on how long will it take the carriers to react and get some resemblance of continuity back? So I'm going to split that up into two questions, which you may not have meant, but I think it's the best way to. The carriers are reacting right now. I spoke to some of my contacts inside the carriers to be like, are you having a good day? And they're like, I am very much not having a good day. They're just in emergency meetings for different areas. So they're reacting because, the ocean carriers, and I'm talking about containerization here, so your Maersks, your MSCs, your Costcos, your CMA CGMs, etc. They have a combination of owned and chartered vessels. And so their first concern is whether or not they have the necessary insurance to go through certain areas. And the way, so they would be members of a P&I club, a protection and indemnity club. And I had the CEO of the American P&I Club on my podcast just before Christmas. So you can check that out if you want to find out more about what they do. And the club is very, very strict on, they might be cancelling war risk coverage because there's protection indemnity, but then there's also hull insurance. And so basically they might price out the premium for the coverage, but no one provider is going to take on 100% of the coverage. So what you do is if you want to price up a risk that is very, very expensive, you don't want to take all that liability because you're like, I think this is really going to go sideways. So what you do is, say for instance, you're at Lloyd's of London, you'll say, all right, I'm going to be the first name on the ticket. And then you walk around and be like, do you want to take a bit? 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 And everyone goes, I'll take 25% and I'll do this. And that's called reinsurance. And so you've taken the first bit and you've reinsurance. That actually happened with the Titanic. So they actually still have the slip where everyone took a piece of the risk and then obviously had to pay out. So insurance is what is determining what the carriers are doing, but also operationally. If they can't get through the Strait of Hormuz because Iran said it's closed, or Iran's like, I will make it unfriendly for you to come through, just realize that I'm going to get shadow banned or community violations again with that word, or the ports aren't operational, or the insurance, so operationally and insurance, that underpins all of it, right? But also the charter parties have really strict rules about not going through uninsured war risk areas. So behind all these decisions is marine insurance and contracts, frankly. And so they're just going to be like, we're just going to scrap all these ports. And where some carriers are like, we're not even going to the Gulf regions. We're done. We're taking a break. So the carriers are reacting straight away because they need to divert their vessels and they need to work out what they're doing with the cargo on the ship, the cargo on the ports, and the cargo's intended for things. So right now, if I was the carrier, I'd just be dumping a lot of cargo at transshipment ports and just cracking on to the next port and being like, that's it. We're cutting and running. We're terminating everything. And we're like, nah, not interested. So they're going to modify their port routes. So carriers on liner box trades have set routes and they're just going to go, well, we're not going to this port and this port and this port. So if you have cargo for there, figure out something else to do with it. We'll bring it back, which you can pay for, make $1. In terms of semblance of continuity back, it really depends when the air activity that's currently going on stops or quietens down enough that gives everyone a little bit of peace of mind. The other thing that's going on is some of the H-named groups are like, oh, we're back, we're active. So the Red Sea is also now back in play for the airness of it all. If you get what I'm saying without getting this video completely blocked and my account blocked. So Strait of Hormuz, kind of out of action. The Red Sea, kind of out of action. And so I say as a rule of thumb, in terms of continuity back, to me is clearing all the backlog of cargo that's kind of been unceremoniously dumped places and the snarls, entanglements of supply chains. I would say a week per day. would say a week per day, for the first week. And then everyone's starts adjusting their supply chains. That's kind of my rule of thumb that I would work off. Yeah, so I know some of that was really convoluted thanks to community violation issues. But if you have more questions, I'd love to hear them, and I can explain in better detail things that you want.